Hi, let's take a few minutes together to explore the different gamification experiences available to you on the Drimify platform, as well as our support services. Drimify is our gamification platform. You can do everything yourself directly within the platform, or we can help you. Drimify is a product of the Drimlike agency, through which we've been working with brands and companies big and small all over the world on gamification, contests, marketing games, and serious games since 2007. Over that journey, we've amassed a great deal of expertise and developed a global vision across these areas. Gamification is used across all sectors and can be applied to all functions. For external communications concerning marketing, events, and entertainment, it enhances audience engagement, collects data, qualifies prospects, and is generally a vehicle that can be customized to better communicate marketing messages. It's also used for internal communications, enhancing processes within human resources and staff training. It can be used for employer branding, to structure and complement recruitment campaigns, and to support all internal communications campaigns and employee events, essentially everything to do with building loyalty. It's also used a lot by media groups with large audiences across TV, print, online publications, and radio. We have several types of gamification experience available. For example, let's take a question and answer game like the quiz. Everything you see on the screen is fully customizable, so you can make it your logo, your text, your font, your colors, and your background image. And that content customization is really the heart of Drimify. That's why we created it, so that you can really make the different games and experiences your own. Next, we're going to talk about data collection. This form is entirely customizable and requires no technical knowledge. You set up the form by ticking boxes and adjusting the text to your requirements. This form is not compulsory, so if you don't need to collect data, you don't need to include it. Equally, if people are identified on one of your platforms, such as an internet site, an intranet, or a mobile application, we can avoid collecting data through a form, and instead, it can be configured, so your system will send us the user variable to identify them automatically. A bit like the principle of single sign-on, or SSO, so we can go a little deeper into the quiz. Questions and answers. True or false, green or red, trend stats. Everything you see on the screen can be enabled or disabled. So, for example, if I, as a user, answer incorrectly, but you didn't want to tell me what the right answer was, that's something that can be configured. However, in this quiz, we want to educate the audience, so we're going to indicate the correct answer regardless. Before going any further, we're going to have the option of sending them to an intermediate screen where we can deliver even more value by showing them additional content. In this case, it will build on the answer to the question. Then we'll move on to the next question, which is a video question, where users watch and answer accordingly. So that's a brief overview of the quiz. We have a similar principle with the personality test, which assigns profiles based on answers, a bit like in magazines. Instead of answers being right or wrong, each answer corresponds to a profile, and if I answer mostly Bs, for example, I get profile B at the end. Next, we have the product recommendation quiz, which is useful for helping your users make better purchasing decisions. First, we'll ask them questions, and depending on their answers, you'll be able to recommend a product or a service. Like the personality test, you assign certain answers to specific product recommendations. Or for internal communications like staff training, the employee answers several questions, and at the end they receive a message along the lines of, "It seems that the manager training course is suited to your skills." Then there's the survey, which is a classic opinion-gathering tool. Below these, we have the gamification experiences. We'll come back to the dynamic path at the end because this allows us to combine several games into a single experience. Then we have the photo contest and the video contest, and bear in mind that they can be used interchangeably. You can ask users to submit photos or videos to your contest, mixing the two. People will be able to enter directly from their phone, entering their details, and uploading the video or photo file from their device's library. In your dashboard, you can moderate the entries, meaning you'll be accepting or rejecting each contest submission, either to prune inappropriate entries or create a short list of the best. Once you've accepted or rejected the various entries, you'll be able to group all the photos and videos together directly in a connected voting gallery, which will allow the audience to vote for their favorite photos or videos for double the engagement. So this is an interesting one, because the advantage of both the photo and video contests are that they allow you to collect UGC, or user-generated content, which you can potentially reuse on your social networks to support the campaign. Next up, we have the Advent Calendar, an exceptional gamification mechanism that opens up audience engagement opportunities from December 1 to December 25. We even have customers who use the Advent Calendar mechanic for campaigns running in January. Because it's fully customizable, it can be used as a classic digital calendar to help promote other occasions or structure digital campaigns throughout the year. To find out more about this product, please click the link to the dedicated video in the description below. Next, we have all the instant win games like the scratch card. Like with the question and answer games, everything can be customized both visually and in terms of content. In this game, you can scratch to try and win a gift or a prize, but you can also win a promotional code or simply reveal something. You don't have to give away prizes. You can use this type of game mechanism to unveil a new logo, a new design, specific information, or a badge, for example, telling players, "Here you are, you've reached such and such a level, scratch to discover your badge," and then people win a badge. There doesn't necessarily have to be a gift or a prize every time. Also, at the end of all the games on Drimify, you'll have the option of including this type of button with a call to action, i.e., a button that redirects the audience to an external page. We've put a lot of time and energy into capturing the audience and creating engagement. So the idea is not to lose them and to use this button to redirect them either to social networks or to a website or to a product page for an e-commerce site, and so on. If it's an e-commerce site, you can distribute a promotional code and, by clicking on it, send players back so that they can use their code straight away. We have the same idea with the slot machine, so instead of fruit, you can put whatever icons you want, spin them around, and the aim is to line up 3 of them. For the Wheel of Fortune and Spin the Wheel, the principle remains. These are mechanisms that work very well with lots of audience types, from a marketing, events, or even internal communications perspective. So here too, I'm going to be able to customize all segments of the wheel, as well as customizing its color and the color of the button. You spin the wheel, and the aim is to land on one of the prize segments to win. I won't go through all the mechanics here, but I invite you to visit the Drimify.com website and head to the Products section to see all the demos and try out the different games and experiences on offer. Then there are the classic games, including Blocks Puzzle, Bubble Shooter, Connect 4, and Pac-Man. Like all the games we've already explored, you can customize everything. Instead of classic Pac-Man, you can create your own character to control, and the same with his enemies. We've just finished a campaign for a logistics company, and they'd replaced the classic yellow Pac-Man character with a lorry, which picks up parcels in the maze. It's a classic game mechanism that's been perfectly coded to the client's brand, their needs, and the branded messaging they're trying to convey. The aim of these games is also to capture and utilize audience attention, so obviously before and after these games, as in the quiz, you can add intermediate screens in which you can get your messages across. In these customizable classic games, playing accumulates a numerical score, and there's a leaderboard option you can select that's updated in real time, allowing you to foster competition among players and organize challenges and tell your target audience, "Here, every hour or every day, we're resetting the leaderboard to 0 and giving away prizes. We have the memory cards game, which is also a very interesting concept for getting branded messages across through play and interactivity. In this case, the aim is to turn over the cards in the grid and find a pair. So there I am. I've found a matching pair. I've found the 2 glasses of Coke, and when I've found that pair, the game pops up. Did you know? And once again, we can include additional content and explain something, whether it's a marketing message or something else like a promotional code. The aim of this type of game is to bring content to the heart of the experience. Then there's the Crossword and Word Search Game. Again, you have a grid, but this time with a word hidden inside. If you don't know the answer, you can ask for a hint. What did we start selling in '94? Amazon started by selling books. So we find the word, and, once again, after finding the word, we have this pop-up that opens up with additional content inside. This pop-up could also be to elaborate on the company's values if it were for internal campaigns, or elaborate on product-specific tech, or some other fact or notion you want to communicate to users. You can create as many grids as you like with as many words as you like. Then there are all the sports games. So, for example, basketball, where once again you can customize everything inside the experience, put your logo on the board, your advertising banner at the back of the court behind the backboard in front of the crowd, and try to score a basket. The same applies to football and rugby. Here you can customize the logo on the ball and invite players to try and score a conversion. The same principle applies here. You can customize the colors of the goalkeeper's shirt, his shorts, his gloves, and you can also change the logo on his shirt and invite users to try to score a goal. All of these games are available independently of each other. You can create a game for a campaign, for a project, or for a one-off objective. You also have the ability to combine games together through the app called the Combo on Drimify. This allows you to seamlessly combine applications together and therefore be able to say, take my quiz, and if you get 5 out of 5, to reward you, I'll invite you to take part in a scratch card for a chance to win a prize. This creates a very effective lever that will enable you to increase participation rates and conversion rates. Then, to go even further, you can use the dynamic path. This is a game engine that's going to allow you to combine several different games together and create stages or levels. So we have stages 1, 2, 3, and 4, and each stage can be a different game. You could say, experience my product or experience my company, and then stage 1 is a quiz, stage 2 could be a memory cards game, stage 3 a scratch card, and so on and so forth. You also have control over when you're going to be able to unlock the levels. So it could be a game a day, like in the Advent calendar. It could be a game a week, a game a month, a game a quarter. The advantage of all this is that you can also imagine it in a loyalty scheme. You offer 12 games, 12 stages, 12 months, and you invite your audience to come back every month to take part in the new game that's been unlocked. So here I'll quickly show you what the dynamic path looks like in practice in the demo that's available on Drimify. First of all, we collect their email address. This email address, or any other unique identifier, such as a phone number, is used to keep track of each user's progress. So if they reconnect a few days later, we'll be able to put them back where they left off. There's an optional form for collecting more data. This can be used to better qualify the participant for your objectives. Then there's an intermediate screen that explains what's going to happen next. Like you've seen elsewhere on the platform, you can put intermediate screens wherever you want and include as many as your campaign requires. We're getting into the gamification experience of the dynamic path in which we've created stages. So stages 1, 2, and 3, we're with TripAdvisor and we're traveling around the world. So for stages 1, 2, and 3, we're in Paris, France. Then we'll pass the little white dot and the background image will change because for stage 4, we'll be in Canada, and then we'll pass the little white dot again. And for stages 5 and 6, we're on the shores of Loch Ness in Scotland. So the value of offering an immersive experience to users both in content and via visuals, is that the user is engrossed in the content, and that makes for a greater impact and makes the whole thing more memorable. This is really the storytelling aspect that's so important in gamification. So here I am launching my first stage. It's a quiz, and I'm going to answer the questions. In this question, the answers are in pictures, so it's already more visually engaging. As before, there's a small intermediate screen with a video, then I move on to the next question and answer. So now I've finished my quiz, which consisted of 2 questions, but it could have been 10 or 50. It's up to you to decide how many questions you want. I finished my first quiz, or stage 1 of the experience, and as such, I scored points. So now I'm on the leaderboard, and I can see where I stand, who's ahead of me, and who's behind, and the top 5, which will make me want to play more and try to climb the leaderboard. The leaderboard taps into my competitive instincts, and as such, is really one of the most important components of gamification, because there's this notion of progression. So now stage 1 is over, I'm on to stage 2. Stage 2 is simply a video in a pop-up window. So you don't have to have just games. You can alternate pop-ups of different content types within game phases. So here I am watching the video, then I go on to step 3. Step 3 is again a game, but there's a special feature. This game or stage is password protected, so you need a secret code to access it. This presents an opportunity to invite your users to either visit your social networks, so for example, go to our TikTok page to find out the secret code and access the next stage, which can earn you followers, or if you're using a dynamic path during an event, say, visit our stand or even go to the shop to find out the secret code and access the next stage. This encourages users to explore physical spaces. Once I have the code, I can enter it to access the next stage. And so that's how you can deliver unique experiences to your users and your audience through your own customized version of the dynamic path. As I talked about at the beginning of this video, you have the option of doing everything yourself directly on Drimify if you want. But if you don't have the time or don't have the resources, we offer support. We can offer you the strategy pack, which is where you benefit from over 15 years of expertise in gamification and game marketing, and even internal communications, to help you achieve your objectives through gamification. You share your objectives, and depending on what you want to achieve, we'll recommend a mechanism to use and the strategy to go with it. Then, if you don't have the time or the resources, we have the assistance pack, which means you can create your account directly on Drimify, and we'll configure the apps you've selected directly on your account, and then you fill in the blanks with your content. You'll only be responsible for the graphics and copy. So basically, we save you time on the configuration. And if you like, we can also offer you a turnkey creation service with our creation pack, where we take care of everything, including the graphic design. You give us your brief, your graphic charter, and your elements, and we take care of the rest. We'll create the game and configure it on your account, do all the graphic design, integrate the content, and deliver a finished product. You work with us on the validation process. These agency services are all available on demand depending on your needs, or you can opt for support packs throughout the year, which will allow us to support your gamification campaigns across all your operations, both internal and external. The first step is to create an account today on Drimify. Start creating your game, and if you need any help or have any questions, don't hesitate to contact the support team on live chat, who will be delighted to help you. We're also available on LinkedIn or by email if you have any other questions. Thank you for your attention, and we'll see you very soon.